Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How you doing?
I'm good. How's everything?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. How is the event going?
Yeah, we thank God. Thank you very much for your time and thank you for supporting the event. You are part of the history, I believe, because as you know, this is the first time we are having it here in the North. So thank you for your time and thank you for believing in what we want to do.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, thanks for the opportunity as well. And maybe next time I'll be there physically.
Yeah, we hope so. Thank you. So I think you can just start. I've sent the link to all the participants. They will be joining, but for those that haven't joined, maybe we have recording that they can watch later.
Okay, so they're also joining by Zoom.
Yeah. They will join. I've sent the link to the group, so they will join.
All right, that's fine. All right, so um I'm going to just share my screen.
Okay.
Okay, I think you need to approve.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to be talking about, how to be a world-class talent, whether, you're trying to get into cybersecurity or any tech career path, or maybe you've already gotten started and you want to, you know, level up your game. So, uh, uh, who am I? So, my name is Aliyu, not to be confused with the organizer of the event. And I work as a cybersecurity engineer. Um, I've also, started like some startups in the past. But currently I'm focusing on Pheasant, which is a startup that advocates for and develops tools to make cybersecurity more accessible, so that everyone can use security tools or interact with, security mechanisms, um, or just do things securely in a way that doesn't exclude certain people. Um, I'm also a co-founder at Cyblack, where we support, um, you know, people from Black or African background with cybersecurity skills, knowledge, and mentorship that they need to succeed in the field. I also volunteer at the Cyber Helpline as an advisory board member, and I am an advisor for Hakwara, a cybersecurity community in Kwara State, where we organize events, local outreach campaigns and things like that. So what does world class actually mean? So when we talk about world class, um, some people might think it means, you know, being in a different parts of the world or being quote unquote international. But at the end of the day, it's not about your geographical location. It's about how do you measure up to, global standards. Um, when you look at your competence levels and the skills that you have and how you apply those skills, how does it compare on the global stage, wherever you find yourself? And to me, it's about competence, it's about curiosity. So staying curious and always trying to improve yourself. And it's about consistency. So you have to remain consistent on the path so that you can continuously, you know, reap the benefits of everything that you're doing. And it's also about mindset. So it's about operating, like I said earlier, at that quality that wherever in the world you find yourself, it's going to be recognized as okay, this person knows his or her stuff. Like you're actually good at what you do. Um, and for most people, that's going to mean like starting where you are, starting locally, trying to make starting with yourself actually. Um, so it starts with building up yourself and then going to like your local community. And that local community can be physical, it can be, online or whatever the case may be. But I'm going to touch more on that um later. So I mean we all know the global tech landscape is quite huge and it's only getting bigger. Um, you know, trillions of US dollars in the digital economy. Um, and with remote work, actually, there's no technical barriers for anyone to be able to work anywhere in the world for most technology career paths or technology enabled career paths. There's actually no physical boundaries or technical boundaries that stops you from working in any company in the world. The most of the barriers right now are compliance barriers, HR barriers, sometimes, biases and things like that. But even with all those um, challenges, we still have lots of companies that recruit globally, right? I know quite a number of people that have worked or still work for, companies all around the world, Canada, Malaysia, the US, the UK, and all those countries. And the digital talent pool in Africa is growing really, really fast. If you think about uh where we are now versus where we were 5, 10 years ago, it's not the same. So much more people are interested in tech careers, and there's so much talent. There's literally not there's no shortage of talent within Africa, right? It's all a matter of like being able to demonstrate that talent and companies being able to find the right talent for their needs. So what the first part of being a world-class talent is know your stuff, like know your onions, right? So it's not about, like I said, it's not about like going to a different country. Like if you go to a different country where, I don't know, maybe the yes, most likely there might be more opportunities in certain countries, but it doesn't change who you are, right? Like you're still the same person with the same set of skills. Um, so actually it's about mastering um your your arts. So you need to have strong fundamentals, like master the core concepts of what of the field that you're trying to get into. And this requires lots of patience. It requires lots of like, it takes time to actually build expertise in anything, right? Um, and you need to be consistent and have a lot of focus on like your learning and your practice, not just like reading stuff or watching videos, but actually trying to do things. And it's also very important to work on projects, build up your practical experience, make your projects as realistic as possible. Like think about, okay, I mean, initially your projects don't need to be something that someone can use. Um, but as the more you gain more skills, you should try to make your projects as realistic as possible. Like I remember when I first got started in tech, I was learning about software development, website development and things like that. All my earliest projects are not things that anybody would use, are not things that I would use, right? They were very like ugly websites, very like useless applications, but they helped me to learn, how does software work, how to put things together, how to actually build things. And then from there, I took that into, starting to build like more real projects. And on top of building projects, you need to also, learn from others. Um, at the end of the day, there's no island of knowledge. Nobody can know everything. So you need to, talk to people who have more experience than you, learn about their experiences, um, and even your peers as well. Like, keep good company in terms of like surrounding yourself with people that are on a similar path. Surround yourself with people that are as motivated or even more motivated than you, right? If you surround yourself with people that are not, if you constantly surround yourself with people that are, let's say, um, behind you in terms of like level of like skills and competency, um, that's not going to, I mean, that might help you like in terms of like teaching and sharing your knowledge and things. But what will actually help you advance more is surrounding yourself with people that are on your level and constantly pushing the boundaries, or even people that are way more advanced, because that will push you to like see, okay, this is actually possible, and it'll push you to go even further. So I'm going to share this video. It's all about like beyond knowing your stuff, it's also about like actually loving what you do and you know, uh being very, very much interested in what you're actually doing.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason uh, is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it, you don't really love it, you're going to give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. If you really look at the ones that ended up, being successful, unquote, in the eyes of society, and the ones that didn't, oftentimes it's the ones that are successful loved what they did so they could persevere when it got really tough, and the ones that didn't love it quit because they're sane, right? Who would want to put up with this stuff if you don't love it? So it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of worrying constantly, and if you don't love it, you're going to fail. People.
So yeah, that's really like something I've also seen like personally, right? Um when learning something new or when trying to like do something that you're not very familiar with, um it gets really tough, right? Like there are lots of like complex concepts that you're trying to get your head around, projects that you're trying to make work and it's not working. It's actually really very hard, and if you're not very invested in it, if you're not very passionate about what you're doing, most likely you're going to say, you know what, I can't deal with this. I'm, just going to find something else to do. But the thing is, everything is hard. Everything like worthwhile is hard. You just have to pick the one that um the one that interests you the most, so that would push you toward through all the difficulties and into where you can start reaping the benefits. Another thing is you need to share your story as well, because no matter how good you are, if nobody knows what you're capable of, it's going to be very tough for you um in the job market or whatever you're trying to do, right? So I know not everyone likes um social media. and things like that. But it doesn't have to be on social media, right? It can be on social media, it can be like through other connections, people you need to like document your projects somewhere, like some kind of portfolio of your work so that when you're applying to jobs, when you're talking to recruiters and things like that, you have something to show them that proves your capabilities. Second part is you need to be known for something good, like build up your reputation. You know, everyone around you should know that, okay, this person uh is really passionate about cybersecurity or software development, whatever it is you're trying to do, so that when opportunities come, when they come across opportunities, they themselves will be the ones to like come to you and say, here's something I think you might be interested in. But if they don't know what you're capable of, even if those opportunities come, nobody is thinking of you at that point in time, right? So also don't be scared to reach out to people, network with people from different backgrounds. It could be people that, like I said earlier, people that are on the same level as you, as well as people that are like more advanced. And that way, like, you're not trying to do everything alone, right? You can it helps you find people that you can collaborate with for whatever projects that you're working on. Um, Also, your CV needs to be very strong and showcase your achievements very effectively. Um, and most likely you will need to have different CVs for different types of roles that you might be applying for, right? Because usually you would have different skill sets, and some roles might emphasize some specific skill sets that you have. So your CV should also reflect that. Not saying you should ignore everything else, but the ones that you prioritize on your CV should be relevant to whatever type of roles that you're applying for. Um, and also you need to like present yourself professionally, right? Perception plays a big role in how people treat you, like how um organizations relate with you and things like that. So you need to present yourself in a very professional way and watch what you're putting out there, like because whatever you put out there is going to build a picture of how people or how others see you. So I'm going to share another video about having audacity and being able to like take bold action.
No, I've actually always found something to be very true, which is most people don't get those experiences because they never ask. I've never found anybody that didn't want to help me if I asked them for help. I always call them up. I called up, this will date me, but I called up Bill Hewlett when I was 12 years old, and he lived in Palo Alto. His number was still in the phone book. And he answered the phone himself. He said, yes. He said, hi, I'm Steve Jobs. I'm 12 years old. I'm a student in high school, and I want to build a frequency counter. And I was wondering if you had any spare parts I could have. And he laughed, and he gave me the spare parts to build his frequency counter, and he gave me a job that summer in Hewlett Packard, working on the assembly line, putting nuts and bolts together on frequency counters. He got me a job in the place that built them, and I was in heaven. And I've never found anyone who said no or hung up the phone when I called. I just asked. And when people ask me, I try to be as responsive, to pay that debt of gratitude back. Um, Most people never pick up the phone and call. Most people never ask, and that's what separates sometimes the people that do things from the people that just dream about them. You gotta act, and you've got to be willing to fail. You've got to be willing to crash and burn. With people on the phone, with starting a company, with whatever. If you're afraid of failing, you won't get very far.
And this is very true. Like you need to you need to have the audacity to talk to people, to take action, so apply for that job, even though you're not feeling like 100% confident. to reach out to that person that you think might be able to mentor you, you need to be willing to, you know, to fail or to receive a no. Just take some kind of action, right? And if it doesn't work out, you learn from it and you move to the next one. So, the next one I want to talk about is, we talk a lot about like opportunities and preparing for opportunities, or, how you can't really control the opportunities that come for you. But what you can do is you can create opportunities for opportunities to find you. And how can you do that? Um, the the guys at Y Combinator always talk about this. They call it the lock surface area. Um, and it's about like trying many things or trying different things to the point where um opportunities are able to find you. So if you're only trying one thing and that one thing doesn't work out, then you've kind of lost, right? But if you're trying different things, if you're doing different things and you are, showing people what you can do, you have your strong portfolio, you have like a good online presence where you're sharing your work, like sooner or later, someone is going to notice what you're doing and they will be willing to like give you an opportunity to do something else, or they'll be willing to, I don't know, provide funding for whatever you're trying to do, or they might be trying to like refer you to a job opportunity if that's what you're looking for, right? And the only way these things can find you is uh if you create those opportunities. But at the same time, the first thing I said is also like knowing your stuff. So even if you have strong online presence and someone reaches out for an opportunity, if you don't know your stuff, most likely you're not going to get it. Or even if you get it, it's not going to pan out very well because some points you're going to figure out that you actually don't know uh or you don't have like the competence to handle that kind of opportunity. Um okay, I wrote build on your online presence twice, but here is also building your physical presence, right? Whether it's like going to physical events, engaging with the community, or even like just within um your circle of like people that you know. Um, make sure that they know what you're capable of. Make sure that they're aware of the kind of projects that you're working on, so that when there's like some kind of support that you can get, then they would even know that okay, this is something that this person can do. And also try to make yourself more discoverable to recruiters and collaborators. So, you know, I already mentioned things like your online portfolio, um, you know, making yourself discoverable on all these professional platforms, joining communities and all these things. It just makes you more discoverable. And when someone sees, like, trust me, you might think you're just putting it out there, but people notice, all those things, and it creates opportunities for the opportunities you want to find you. So now, huge one is to contribute, like, and there's literally nothing stopping you from contributing to anything, regardless of what level um of skills that you've reached. So try to think about like real problems that you can solve. And again, this can be like within your local community, it can be within your school if you're a student, you know. I've seen lots of uh like online campaigns for security awareness. I've also seen like physical campaigns where they go to like schools, they go to like local communities to try and like make people aware of online safety and things like that and fraud prevention. All these things make an impact, right? So try to think of a way that you can actually help other people because that's also developing yourself. Open source is another big one as well. You can contribute to like open source projects, tools and things like that. If you're not a coder, you can still contribute through like, helping to test different tools, providing feedback, writing documentations, advocacy and things like that. Um, Volunteering, this is basically the same as like making an impact. You can volunteer to different communities or different like non-profits. And it doesn't even have to be a non-profit relating to tech or cybersecurity. It can be just any regular non-profits, right? There'll be things that you can help them with, whether it's helping them to build a website or helping them to secure their websites or social media, or even like something as simple as like documents, right? Most people and organizations use like cloud uh platforms for collaboration. So that kind of thing, like helping them to make sure that it's properly configured and it's secure. These are things that you can do even at an early stage of your career. And yeah, share your knowledge, share your experience, teach others. But don't forget that we are all learners, right? Um, don't try to pass yourself off as someone that's like beyond what you actually are, because yeah, it might get you a lot of attention, but at the same time, it's like it's people are going to figure you out at like sooner or later, and that's not going to be good for um your long-term career. I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's this story that came out recently with um University of Lagos and how they got into a partnership with OpenAI, and because of like the reputation that the university has, that kind of attracted a global organization like OpenAI to partner with them, and that just buttresses the point that great things can happen uh from all places, like regardless of where you find yourself. You can be a world-class talent wherever you find yourself. Uh you don't have to be in a different location or in a different country to do that. So yeah, I just want to give you a push to go for it. Don't be scared to get all those rejections are part of like how you grow as a professional. Tr- Take calculated risks. Not saying you should like jump from whatever job you're currently doing and put yourself in a terrible financial situation. But there's some kind of calculated risks you can take that kind of uh going to be beneficial for you. And try to choose very wisely where you invest your time and your energy, because again, whatever time and energy you're spending on something is taking away time and energy from other things that you could be doing. So you have to make sure that whatever you're doing is going to be worth it, whether in terms of the impact you're going to make on others or how it's going to benefit you. And try to apply for positions that stretch your capabilities. So don't look at job requirements and say, okay, you have to check 100% of the boxes before before you're able to do it, right? Most most career advancements don't happen that way actually, because um if if there was someone that checks all those boxes, that person most likely wouldn't be going for that role. They'll be going for something that's going more challenging to them because they want to grow. So you should also have that kind of growth mindset when, looking at job opportunities. So try to be world class, whether you're at home or abroad, wherever you find yourself. Always bring your best and be known for that. Like be known for always bringing your best. That's going to attract like lots of goodwill and lots of opportunities. And of course, be ethical. I mean, I shouldn't have to say this. but don't do anything that's unethical or illegal. Try to always stay on the right side. Don't get stuck in your comfort zone because that's not how to grow. Like for you to grow, you need to always be outside your comfort zone. And it sounds uncomfortable sometimes. I mean, it feels uncomfortable sometimes because it's like you're struggling, but the struggling that you're doing is actually how you're growing as a person. And yeah, don't be scared to reach out for global opportunities, whether it's like speaking, job opportunities, volunteering, and things like that. And yeah, I also wanted to share this, like if you are looking to move for better opportunities, there are programs that allow you to do that all across the world, UK, Canada, Australia, Singapore, UAE. But again, I'm putting this like last because it's not about, you know, this this is not what it's about. It's about building yourself to be of a world-class standard. And when you get there, all these things are going to be easy to apply for because you already have that impact, you've already made impact, you've already grown yourself to the level where you'll be attractive to all these countries or global companies. So yeah, thank you very much for listening. And I really believe that your journey starts with a single step, and um, it's going to continue with all the efforts that you're putting in, all the networking that you're doing, the impacts that you're making, right? Like I've seen so many people um that make impacts on some kind of scale within their own community, right? And that like those kind of people, like good things happen to those kind of people always, right? Sooner or later, like their life changes because of some kind of like massive opportunity that they get. But again, um it's not about going to a different country or like having this kind of like many followers on social media and things like that. It's about the real impact that you're making. And if you do have many followers, use those things to make impact as well. Like whatever assets you have at your disposal, use them to make a positive impact on the world. And that should be what matters the most. Um, Happy to take any questions or comments from anyone.
So, thank you very much. I think before you even join, I shared it in the group that this session is very important because I think one of the things that people living here in Nigeria, as we all know, the situation, some people want to learn or want to get into this field, but this kind of advice, that's what they are missing, and they do and go and start doing something else, and maybe they start trying to find like a cheat code on how to get around it. And I believe this slide that you shared contains almost everything that someone who wants to succeed need, because you touch on so many aspects that will help in achieving whatever you want to achieve in this. Thank you very much for your time. And as you mentioned at the beginning, probably next year we'll have you physically here in Kano to gain more insight and knowledge. Thank you, sir. And I think even though we have a few minutes because we are using free version of Zoom, they are telling us we have a few minutes. So I think we can just take maybe one or two questions if there is any quickly because the time is ticking. If you have question, just maybe.
Thank you so much, sir. Hello?
Yeah, just go ahead. Ask your question.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for the great presentation, sir. My name is Abdullahi. I just need the slide, if possible, for me so that I'll go through it again.
Okay.
And also, I want to ask a question about uh, forensics field. if I wanted to be a forensics examiner, what do I need first? Do I need to have a certification or to go through it in YouTube and learn a lot of uh,
Yeah.
beginning things before I? That's my
So
question.
yeah, that's a good question. I think when it comes to forensics, and I assume you mean like cyber or digital forensics, it's about it's about like being very analytical and spotting patterns and being good at like understanding um evidence, right? At the end of the day, it's about understanding evidence. But before you even get to that evidence, you need some skills to be able to like go around the technology. So for instance, if you're looking at and it's different platforms as well, right? So if you're looking at forensics in terms of like an incident response perspective, it's about, being able to analyze malware so that you understand exactly what the malware does, and you can help the security operations team to develop better detection so that they can stop that malware from spreading around the environment. So there's also like forensics in terms of a law enforcement perspective where they're trying to solve a crime and some devices have been seized. If you're doing Android forensics, for example, you need to have a deep understanding of how the Android ecosystem works and how, different application works, where the data is stored, how can you retrieve that data, and how can you understand the data and like point out, patterns and things like that. So it's about doing a lot of analysis and doing a lot of deep like research into how all these platforms work. And yeah, I'm sure there are lots of videos on YouTube on how to do all those things, but you need to have a lab where you can have a sandbox or an isolated environment so that, malware doesn't like affect your own system that you're using. So yeah, hopefully I've been able to answer your question. I have like 10 more minutes after this call ends, so I don't know, is it okay for me to share a Google Meet link
Okay,
for
okay,
anybody else that still has questions?
okay. I
Is
think
there
that would
interest in
be
that, or do you guys want to just end it here?
Okay, sir.
I think just
Okay.
share the link so that maybe uh the question will be answered, and also maybe they can just connect with you more, because that's one of the things that I'm just trying to mention. After this, maybe you can just send you a
Yeah.
LinkedIn request so that this is just like an introduction. So for anyone that want to ask a question, there is a Google Meet link in the chat. So you can just go ahead and copy it. We have a few minutes left here. So thank you very much, sir, for taking your time. And I wish next year um, we will have you physically here, because we definitely need people. Yeah, we have some speakers here, but people like you give like a wider perspective when it comes to cybersecurity, because you experience it from different angle. So you get to give like, as you mentioned, geographical location is not the issue here. You can still achieve the same thing while you are living in a certain area, which is a different perspective. If you did not experience it, you cannot tell people how they can go about it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time and the insight that you give us today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Aliyu, for the opportunity and for organizing this event. I think it's something that's really necessary. And yeah, thanks to special thanks to Imam 24 for helping me uh to develop the slides as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to continue the conversation, feel free to join the Google Meet, or
Yes.
you can just connect with me on LinkedIn.
Yes. Thank you.